Hi there, BookTube. It's Ros from Scully Handling About the Books, and I've got a visitor today.
Hello, it's me. It's Faulkner in August, so I've been let out.
Let out to speak. This is Steve.
Hello.
And he and I often read the same books and talk about them with each other, and then you get the benefit of that on BookTube. But every now and then, it pops out on a video. And most commonly in Faulkner in August, because every August, and a number of us on BookTube read a work by William Faulkner, and this we talk about it on Voxer, which Steve opts out of. So you miss all the discussions coming for this bit, and this year's book was As I Lay Dying, which Faulkner published in 1930. And so it was kind of in sort of towards the beginning of his, what I'd see as his sort of golden period of his very best books, you know, like The Sound of the Fury and Light in August and so on. And we had a very rich discussion about it in the group. It was the first Faulkner that I ever read.
Me too.
Really? You as well? Yeah. And so this was a reread for both of us then. And I have to say that having read a load of other Faulkner over the last few years for Faulkner in August, I think I got a lot more out of this than I did when I originally read it. And so, you know, when some people sometimes say, where should I start with Faulkner? I think the answer is not with this one.
Well, I mean, it has the advantages of being shorter than a lot of his work.
Yes.
And I remember the first time I read it, I thought that, yes, I knew on some level that it was a work of greatness, but I couldn't quite understand a lot of it. And having read more like you over the last few years, it is that understanding of how he uses different internal monologues of characters to differentiate and also to show an understanding of the way different people's minds work.
Yes, I think like Faulkner's strength for me and the kind of quality of his writing that I like most is the fact that he's kind of writing about the human condition. Yeah. In a very particular context, because all his books are set in a sort of a fictional area of Mississippi. But Yoknapatawpha County, I can say it now. I couldn't a few years ago. I couldn't say that.
I can't. I skip over that word.
But they're about humanity and how human beings treat each other and sort of family relationships and it quite dark. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very dark book. Very rereading it. It's very sort of think, wow, what a topic, and very few really likeable characters, but then that's true of most Faulkner, I think. But it's sort of like
there's a couple of likeable.
Less unlikable.
There's a couple of good characters, I suppose, and an awful lot of not good characters. Having said that it's dark, it's sometimes described as a tragicomedy. Do you think that's fair?
Oh, there are certain moments of humour. I mean, very dark humour in. I think. I mean, just the very concept of transporting a corpse across the county because the widower has made a promise and doesn't want to let her down, although that
or not.
That is there may be other motives as well. But the fact that the rest of the family go along with it.
And so yes, so they have to make a coffin, put her in the back of the wagon, and get her. What should be a day, maybe 2 days journey at the most, and turns into a sort of 8-day odyssey of disasters. So there is something sort of slight horrific, but also that there are genuinely sort of funny in a dark way moments in that story.
But there are also sort of issues around what does family mean, and the fact that the patriarch wants has made a promise that she should be with her folks in Jefferson, so he has to transport her there.
At what cost to his children, their children? Yes.
It's about that power, but also that links to family and place, I guess, isn't
it? Yes. And loyalty and keeping your word. Although that's from a man who seems to be quite willing to not keep his word in other respects. So what is the motivation? It's sort of stream of consciousness ish. I mean, not stream of consciousness in the way that, like, I don't know, Virginia Woolf would do it.
No.
Say it's.
Well, Virginia Woolf was writing about a different area.
No. But what I mean is, in terms of the way it's written, you know, it's like we have. We see things from the perspective of a series of different characters, some of which recur. You know, the man, the wife, the children, friends, people they encounter on their journey, and we're kind of in the heads of each of them. Although sometimes it feels like we're actually getting the authorial voice rather than But he does get very much within people. You know, it's very a sort of vivid in creation of character.
It's always an empathic understanding, I think. Or maybe memory, but the young boy, the youngest,
Vardaman. Sad.
Yeah, but his internal voice is very recognisable as a younger person's voice, whereas Dahl is once things become clear, you can see that Dahl has got elements of
PTSD. He's the one that served in the First World War. But do you think he also he's the character that brings Faulkner's voice, do you think, to an extent? He allows himself to you know, there's moments of either Dahl is a bit of a telepath, or he has moments when he almost becomes omniscient narrator.
Yeah, no, I think there's elements of Faulkner in that. I think.
I was going to say I really, really enjoyed it. Enjoy is slightly the wrong word. There are moments in it that I enjoyed enormously, and the things that I enjoy most, I think, two things. One is amazing bits of dialogue sometimes. You know, some of the sort of self-justifying. You know, there's a character, Cora, who's sort of so convinced of her own rightness. Because
her moral religious,
because of her moral convictions, but she just believes that she knows everything, you know, and how things she should be. But the sort of interplay between her and other characters, particularly her and her husband, is brilliant. So moments like that I really love. But the other thing I really love is he sometimes does these amazing descriptive scenes. Were any that particularly sort of stood out for you?
Crossing the river, I think. Driving a mule pair and cart over a submerging bridge in a flood state. That was quite.
Yes. Well, they can't take it across the bridge; they have to take it across the ford, don't they? And yes, it's sort of so vivid, so dramatic, so in the moment.
And so stupid. But also, talking about the dialogue and things like that, the repetition. I think the fact that characters within spaces of a few sentences will say the same thing over and over again, which I think, to my mind, is one about how people talk anyway. You say the same thing, but the fact they keep repeating themselves is about them feeling that they haven't been heard.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a lot of stuff about she should have taken the cakes and things like that. There are promises made that are not kept, and people keep sort of harping on about them, but not getting heard and not getting resolved. I think.
And a kind of again, that's one of the things I like about Faulkner, that he doesn't it doesn't feel like he's tidied up the dialogue. Although I think his writing is actually really, really carefully planned and precise, but it's sort of almost deliberately messy, like real human beings are messy.
There's people talking over each other, people not listening to each other. It does seem real, even though all of it is reported by different characters, effectively, isn't it? But he's not a bad writer.
Not a bad writer. Funny that.
Although some people don't like him.
Well, actually, interestingly, one thing that came out in the Voxer group discussion, one of the members, Pat, read an article from just after he was awarded the Nobel Prize. So that was 1951. And what it said was that in 1945, I think all but one of his books were out of print.
Right.
And so, that it was being recognised by the Nobel Committee kind of brought him back to the fore in America. When I say out of print, I mean out of print in the States.
Yeah.
And so, we're so used now to thinking of him as one of the sort of great American writers of the 20th century. But actually, he wasn't necessarily loved and recognised at the time. But it sort of came back round when he got that recognition and got the Nobel Prize, and then he later sort of won a Pulitzer and so on. So, but that was a really intriguing fact.
I think it's interesting because one of the problems I have with a lot of male American writers is this idea of the great American novel, which they all seem striving to write. And I don't think Faulkner falls into that. I don't think he was trying to write a State of the Nation kind of book in any of the things that he did, certainly not this one. But he does.
I think he always narrows sort of down, and then might accidentally write of something of the state of that part of the nation, at least.
Yeah, I think that is true. I think that he, by focusing in on this fictionalized part of the southern states of America, he actually says something about the human condition
and about sort of Southern American culture and society and politics and history. So, would you recommend it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great book.
It's a great
novel. Yeah.
A great novel. Say Roseanne Steve. But if you haven't read any Faulkner, I'd say Light in August would be a better one to start with.
They're all. Basically, you have to plunge into it. Really.
Plunging. Be brave. Maybe go for this one. Yeah. And if you want to be sort of encouraged through a Faulkner, next August we're reading Go Down Moses, which is one of his books that's kind of like interlinked short stories rather than a novel, but definitely they're not a random selection of short stories. They're connected, I think. So
got any of the Snopes family in
no
it?
doubt. So see you next August for that. Might see you before that.
Might do. Who knows?
Maybe something in October. Who knows? We'll see. Bye.
Bye.